Welcome back to M.R. Recaps. We are recapping Season 1 of The Last of Us. The series follows Joel and Ellie as they travel across the country searching for a cure to the Cordyceps infection, which is a fungus that turns everyone into zombie-like creatures once bitten. Before their journey begins, we learn the origin of the infection in Indonesia, where a doctor is brought in to examine a dead body from a flour and grain factory. Upon discovering that the fungus has adapted to infect humans and that several people are already missing, she suggests bombing the city to stop the spread, but the infection has already spread across the country in shipments of flour and grain products infected with the cordyceps. During the same time, we witnessed the first day of the outbreak with Joel, his daughter Sarah, and his brother Tommy. While coming home from school, Sarah sees fire jets, helicopters, and the military, foreshadowing something bad is coming. At night, the neighbor's dog gets out and Sarah returns it. Once at their house, she gets attacked by their neighbor, who has already mutated, but Joel arrives just in time to save her. Joel, Tommy, and Sarah attempt to leave town, but it's chaos. People are getting attacked, shot, and a plane crashes in town that hits their car, leaving Sarah with the injured leg. Tommy is separated from Joel, who is carrying an injured Sarah out of town, but they get stopped by a soldier. The soldier is ordered to shoot them, but they jump out of the way just in time, and Tommy shoots the soldier, but Sarah got shot and she dies in Joel's arms. 20 years later, Joel lives in the Boston QZ quarantine zone that is run by Fedra, a cruel military dictatorship that keeps its people safe from the infected. Joel and his friend Tess are looking for a car battery to get to Tommy, who was last heard was in Wyoming. Joel and Tess get an offer from Marlene, the leader of the Boston Fireflies, a rebellion group that fights back against Fedra. The offer is to take Ellie, a teenage girl, to a Firefly outpost just outside the city, and you will be rewarded with a car and supplies. Joel and Tess agree. As they're making their way through the city, they learn that Ellie got bit, but her bites are weeks old and have healed, meaning she's immune. She reveals that the Fireflies may have a way of using Ellie to make a cure. While making their way through the city, they face a few challenges: a herd of infected and clickers. Clickers are a type of infected where it has mutated to a point where its eyes are covered but uses echolocation to get around. Joel, Tess, and Ellie pass two clickers and get attacked despite being quiet, but they survive and continue. Once they reach the Firefly outpost, they are disappointed to see that the Fireflies are all dead. While figuring out what to do, the infected that were in the city attack the outpost. Tess reveals that she's been bit. She then sacrifices herself so that Joel and Ellie get away. After escaping the city, Joel and Ellie make their way to a friend of Joel's, Bill and Frank. While on the way there, they pass by a horrific scene where people were executed at the start of the outbreak when there was no space left in the QZ. That's when the story of Bill and Frank starts. Bill was a doomsday prepper who built a town for himself to live in, with running water, electricity, and fences. One day, a lost traveler named Frank gets stuck in one of Bill's traps. Bill lets him out and helps Frank out by cooking him a meal. There's a connection between the two, and Frank stays. And throughout their life together, they share special moments like loving each other, cooking, singing, and so on. In their old age, Frank becomes sick and is living in discomfort. Frank feels fulfilled and wants to end his life. Not wanting to be alone, Bill decides to join Frank and they pass away peacefully together. Joel and Ellie arrive to Bill and Frank's place and they find a note explaining their decision, and they offer all their supplies to Joel. With a truck and supplies, Ellie and Joel make their way to Wyoming, hopefully to reconnect with Tommy. On their way to Wyoming, they make their way through Kansas City, but something's a bit different. There's no infected in the streets. That's because years ago, Kansas City Fedra trapped all the infected underground, but the infected are looking to get to the surface, and Kathleen knows this and won't tell anyone. Kathleen is the leader of the people of Kansas City, who overthrew Kansas City Fedra, who have been known to rape, abuse, and torture its citizens. As Joel and Ellie pass through the city, they are ambushed by Kathleen's people and crash. Joel gets attacked, but Ellie kills the attacker to save Joel, and they manage to escape through the buildings. Once Kathleen hears what has happened, she orders her people to look for them, stating that Joel and Ellie are with the collaborators of Fedra and need to be killed along Sam and Henry. A little backstory: before Kathleen was the leader, her brother led the group, and Henry had him killed because Henry needed medication for his sick and deaf brother Sam, and the only way to get that medication from Fedra was to give up Kathleen's brother, and this is why Kathleen wants Henry and Sam killed. Joel, Ellie, Henry, and Sam all try to escape and eventually run into each other, and they agree to work together to get out of the city. They use an underground network of tunnels to escape escape, and it works, and they're free. As they thought it was over, they get shot at by a sniper who is working with Kathleen. Joel leaves Ellie to kill the sniper, but it's too late. Kathleen and her army are coming. Ellie, Henry, and Sam hide, but Kathleen and her people are all over the place. To save Sam and Ellie, Henry gives himself up, but before Kathleen kills Henry, a swarm of infected from underground come and kill all of Kathleen's people. In the chaos, Ellie, Sam, and Henry get away. Joel turns into American sniper, protecting Ellie. Kathleen catches up to them, points a gun at Henry, but she gets killed by an infected. Joel, Henry, Ellie, and Sam escape and find shelter. Sam reveals to Ellie that he's been bit. Ellie then uses her blood thinking it could help heal the bite, but the next morning Sam has turned and attacks Ellie. Joel reaches for the gun, but Henry grabs it and shoots at Joel. Henry then doesn't hesitate to kill his brother who's infected. Devastated by what he has just done and the loss of his brother, he turns the gun on himself, taking his own life. 3 months later during winter, Joel and Ellie are in Wyoming looking for Tommy. They come across a group and one of the group members recognizes Joel. They are then taken to a small community where Joel reunites with his brother Tommy, who is married and expecting a child. Joel tells Tommy all about Ellie and his travels and asks if Tommy can take Ellie, as Joel feels he cannot keep Ellie safe. Tommy agrees. Ellie learns about Joel's past, including his daughter, and also that Joel wants Tommy to take Ellie, but she still wants to go with Joel. So Joel and Ellie leave Tommy's settlement with a horse and supplies, heading for the University of Colorado, where Tommy said the Fireflies outpost was last seen. On this trip, Joel and Ellie continue to bond, where Joel teaches Ellie to shoot, about football, and he tells Ellie about his life before the outbreak. They arrive at the university, but the outpost is abandoned, except for some monkeys from the lab. They find a map with Salt Lake City highlighted and decide to make their way there. But raiders soon arrive at the university. Joel and Ellie sneak out the back, but Joel gets attacked and stabbed, but they manage to escape. As Joel is bleeding, he passes out. Ellie finds shelter, but Joel tells Ellie to leave. Unsure what to do, Ellie thinks back to when she got bit. She's living in Fedra School in Boston with her friend Riley, who she hasn't seen in weeks because she's been training to be a firefly. Riley sneaks into Ellie's room to surprise her, and they sneak out together. They head to an abandoned mall where Riley found a way to get power to it. Riley has a bunch of surprises planned for Ellie, and they have fun together, but they also get into an argument when Ellie finds out that Riley is being transferred to a firefly base in Atlanta. Ellie forgives Riley, and they make the most of their time left together by dancing in the costume shop. They reveal to each other that they have strong feelings toward one another, more than just being friends. Riley then decides to stay. All of a sudden, an infected attacks them. They manage to kill it, but not before they both get bit. They decide to lose their minds together. Riley eventually turns, but Ellie doesn't. Flashback to the present, Ellie decides to stay and stitch up Joel. She then goes out hunting. She shoots a deer and follows it to where she meets David and James. David is the leader of a religious group not too far from where Ellie is staying. Ellie negotiates to get medicine for the deer. James goes to get the medicine while Ellie and David talk. David reveals that members of his group was the one that attacked Joel and Ellie at the university. Ellie gets the medicine and leaves. She then gives it to Joel. The next morning, more people from David's group come looking for Ellie. She tries to run, but she gets captured. Joel wakes up and kills a few people and finds out where they're taking Ellie. Once captured, Ellie learns that they're cannibals. She then finds a way to escape, killing James and trying to escape David, but she's locked in a cabin. Her and David get into a fight to the death that Ellie ends up winning. She finally escapes and finds Joel outside the cabin. After a harsh winter, Joel and Ellie finally arrive in Salt Lake City. As they make their way through, they have a few special moments together. They encounter a giraffe. Ellie feeds it, and she also mentions how she wants to stay with Joel after they find the cure. Joel also tells Ellie that he tried to shoot himself after Sarah died, but he moved at the last minute, giving himself a scar. He also tells Ellie that she helped heal his pain. While walking through the city, Joel and Ellie get ambushed. Joel wakes up in the hospital with Marlene and demands to know where Ellie is, but she's being prepped for surgery, and Marlene tells Joel that her immunity comes from the brain and they need to take it out, killing her. Marlene gives her men orders to escort Joel out of the city and to shoot him if he tries anything, and Joel goes all John Wick and kills pretty much everyone in the hospital, including Marlene. Joel then finds Ellie and they escape together. Ellie wakes up and doesn't really remember much, and Joel lies to her, telling Ellie that there were dozens of people that were immune, but they couldn't find the cure and stopped trying. They make their way back to Tommy's place in Wyoming. As they arrive, Joel swears to Ellie that everything he said was true. The end. Thank you everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on the video and season down below. I am very excited for The Last of Us Season 2. I will be covering each episode individually. Please stay tuned for that. Make sure you like and subscribe if you are interested in that. Peace.